First of all, thank you for this interview, Alex. Thank you very much. Sure. My friend Juan Carlos had an idea that making this interview not just a question and answer, but through images of your life.
Okay.
But we want to start with this band that you.
Oh, that band.
That band. This picture.
Yeah. I've met those derelicts before. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, when the Hollywood Vampires got together, I was doing Dark Shadows with Johnny in London. And I happened to mention that my drinking club in Los Angeles was the Hollywood Vampires. And we, you know, with John Lennon and Harry Nilsson and Keith Moon and myself and all these guys. And we started talking about, wouldn't it be cool to put a band together that just played songs from all of our dead drunk friends. All the guys that all died from drinking and alcohol. You know, because I mean, they would laugh at that because they had that sense of humor, you know. So the very second we did that, Joe Perry happened to walk in. He goes, "I'm in." And next, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, "I'm in." And pretty soon we had a band, and we were only going to play bars. 2-3 days later, we were at Rock in Rio, 150,000 people, and people are very shocked when they hear Johnny play. They think Johnny is a movie star trying to be a rock star. He was playing guitar in a band way before he was an actor, and he was a good guitar player. So when we get into rehearsal, we don't look at him as Jack Sparrow. We don't look at him as as Edward Scissorhands. We look at him as Johnny, our guitar player.
Some people say that the Thunder and Lightning never strike twice, but this is the second Hollywood Vampires album.
I always know that there's going to be another Alice Cooper album. I know that. You know, that's something that I know. I am going to keep making records and touring until I can't. Because, you know, I always say that the day that I do a tour and nobody shows up, that's when I know I'm done, you know. But as a songwriter, I'm always gonna write albums. I'm going to write stories that start from the beginning and end at the end. That's how I write. That's how I will always write. With the Vampires, it's sort of like a little bit of a breath of fresh air for me. When I do Alice Cooper, you'll notice when I'm on stage tomorrow night, Alice will never talk to the audience because he's this other phantom.
Exactly.
He's not real. He's some sort of a villainish ghost up there. At the very end, he talks to the audience, you know, but he's this arrogant villain. When I'm with the Vampires, I talk to the audience all night because I'm not playing the part of Alice Cooper. I'm the lead singer in the Vampires.
What about the theatrical space on stage? You made a great job in the 70s with all these theatrical concerts.
Yes.
Many people follow your steps, but suddenly became the big shows like Pink Floyd, like U2, and the theatricality was transformed. How is now? What do you think about these kind of shows that you still give into?
I think the girls have stolen the shows. I mean, if you go see Pink, it's like Cirque du Soleil. I mean, it's spectacular. And Lady Gaga, whoa! I mean, how much money are they spending on these shows? They're so spectacular. The girls have actually hijacked the big shows. I don't know very many guys that are doing big shows like that. I've always looked at it this way. Alice Cooper's show was always much more, I want the focus on the character. So there's not a lot of pyro. There's not a lot of laser beams. There's not a lot of, stuff going on. That happens at the end of the show, the finale that happens. But I want the audience to be focused on this character. In other words, he's in a straitjacket, and there's a cold blue light above him, and you can feel the claustrophobia in this straitjacket, and he's going to get out. And when he does get out, what's he going to do about this nurse that's standing there with this giant hypodermic needle? Well, he's going to go after her. And then what happens after that? I want the audience to be like this. What? Oh no! It's like, I want them involved in that character, so I don't do a lot of gigantic pyro and stuff. I think we're much more focused. Kiss's show was big and broad, and you know, gigantic. And they're great. They're really good at what they do. They're good friends of mine. We never had a conflict with each other. I never had a conflict with Bowie. I never had a conflict with any of these guys because they all did their own version of theatrics. But my theatrics have always been much more, I want the audience involved with Alice. Is he psychotic? Is he funny? Is he a killer? Is he a hero? He's not a hero, you know. But that's the difference in the shows you'll see between Chris and Alice Cooper.
We would like to talk about these images. That you share with us some memories, brief memories of these moments, like this one, for example, with John Lennon.
Oh yeah. Well, John and I, you know, we used to drink a lot together. He was a vampire. He was a Hollywood vampire, original one. And it was at a time when we'd go to Max's Kansas City in New York. I lived in New York City then. And that was the clubhouse. That was where everybody went every night. Now, that would be me and John Lennon and probably, I don't know, there would probably Todd Rundgren or, you know, that table. Then the other table would be Frank Zappa and da-da-da and da-da. And that table over there would be Bowie and da-da and Warhol.
Wow.
Every table was a table you wanted to sit at. But yet, to us, it was just kind of like, this is us away from the show. And so we were probably laughing about something there, you know. But John and I were good friends. We and Harry Nilsson, you know, that was kind of the original vampires right there.
And we have another one with Freddie Mercury.
Freddie was great because Freddie would come over and he'd say, "Oh, hi, Alice. Where's Cheryl?" My wife. Cheryl was with Joffrey Ballet. He would sit and talk to Cheryl about opera and ballet for 2 hours. And I'd walk by, "Hi, Alice," yeah, because he wanted to talk to her because she was like steeped in the classics, right? So he was much more interested in that than he was in the rock guys. But we, you know, at that point we started going, really never see Freddie with any girls, do you? Except my wife. And at the time I went, I'm really not worried about him being with my wife.
Exactly.
But we all love
She's
Freddie.
safe.
Freddie was great. And Freddie came up on stage, you know, the first time we saw Queen, I just went, wow, this band, Brian May, come on. That guy is such a classic guitar player and such a sweet person. And their drummer, who did all the high vocals, you know, and the songs were going, what is this? It's like it was taking prog to another world. You know, you were used to Yes, and you were used to King Crimson and all these prog bands. All of a sudden, Queen was not just prog, but they were commercial.
Exactly.
They made hit records, but then you hear them do Bohemian Rhapsody and just go, White Flag. Okay, we can't do that. You know, we can do this, but we can't do that. Of course, they would go, well, we can do this, but we can't do that. Hello, my little children. This is Alice Cooper with Pepe Campa on Track Attack. Alice Cooper and Pepe Campa. What a combination.
Thank you very much, Alice. You're very kind.
Thank you.
Great interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we have a
Picture,
please? Pass it over.